begin with the top stories this hour. Parliamentary committee to probe into the procurement scandal of the two wide-body Airbuses. Heated dispute between lawmakers and corporation leadership. The government all set to introduce contribution-based social security scheme, paving way for private sector employees to receive pension amount. US government report warns climate change will cost the US economy hundreds of billions of dollars, damaging everything from human health to infrastructure by the end of the century. Two matches slated for A-Division League football today. Tribhuvan Army Sankata and Brigade Boys emerged winners yesterday. Let us begin with the latest national political updates. The Parliamentary Committee is to probe into the procurement scandal of the two wide-body Airbuses. The Parliament's International Relations Committee has formed a subcommittee to investigate the issue. The Civil Aviation Authority had procured two wide-body Airbus jet planes earlier this year. The authority had taken a loan of 22 billion rupees to pay for the aircrafts with the government as the guarantor. However, the dispute still continues whether the airplanes were actually purchased or taken for lease, while the authority is facing huge losses while paying the interest of the loan due to failing to put the aircrafts into operation. The lawmakers speaking at the meeting of the Parliamentary Committee yesterday vented ire at the authority leadership for the debacle. Managing Director of the Civil Aviation Authority, Sugat Ratna Kangsakar, however, defended the corporation, citing that the lawmakers were acting on rumors. As the altercation between the lawmakers and MD Kangsakar intensified, Minister for Tourism Rabindra Adhikari ruled out his involvement in the procurement process of the aircrafts. Agreeing to take responsibility of the matter as a departmental minister, Adhikari pledged to submit all the concerned documents to the committee within 24 hours. The subcommittee formed under the leadership of lawmaker Prakash Man Singh to probe into the subject has been given a month to submit its report. And moving on, the government has introduced contribution-based social security schemes so that employees in the private sector too can receive pension amount. The law and regulation necessary for the scheme has already been enacted. Any individual who has worked for at least 15 years in an enterprise will be eligible to receive pension with the implementation of the provision. The Social Security Scheme also includes compensation during illness, accidents or death while in service, elderly allowance, stipends for new mothers and security for dependent family members, among others. All these facilities were synonymous to a dream to employees other than the government staffers as of yet. The dream would now translate into reality in case the scheme is to be fully implemented. The government is bringing the new Social Security Scheme into operation by next week. As per the provision, 11% of the basic salary of private sector employees will be deducted and put into Social Security Fund. The amount will be increased to 31% with addition from the employers as well. Any employee contributing to the scheme is entitled to receive pension after 15 years of service along with other mentioned facilities during the time of service. The Ministry of Labour, Employment and Social Security has started listing out the employers from within the Kathmandu Valley for the implementation of the scheme. The employers will then enlist their contributing employees within 3 months. The government Social Security Fund currently has 20 billion rupees. The implementation of the scheme will not only benefit a large number of private sector employees, but liability on the part of private employer themselves will significantly decline. The government is planning to involve at least 2 million workers in the Social Security Scheme within the current fiscal year. And time now for a short break. For more news, do stay with us. Welcome back. Additional 10 compartments of the Narayan Palace Museum have been opened for public from yesterday onwards. The compartments include the makeup room of the late Queen Aishwarya, known as Sindhuli Kaksha, along with the ones used by the then royal families during special occasions. The visitors will be able to observe 31 compartments of the Narayan Palace from now on. The makeup room used by the late Queen Asoria comprises several cosmetic items as well. Likewise, the waiting room of the palace meant for the guests, the compartment used for celebrating the birthdays of Crown Prince, rooms of the then bodyguards of royal family members, and a room dedicated for observing Tika during Dasai festival have now been opened to the public. The royal crown too was put on public display only since 15th of October 2017. Meanwhile, the general public still has no access to the rooms used by the then royal family to watch movies, the private room used by the then King Birendra and Queen Asoria known as Sri Sadan, and the library. There are altogether 52 different rooms in the Narayanhiti Palace. Some of the compartments are still being used by the 91-year-old Queen Mother Ratnarajya Lakshmi Devisa. The Narayanhiti Palace was converted into a museum on the 15th of June 2008 with the establishment of republicanism in the country. 5 people have died at Hanuman Nagar Kankalini Saptari after a bus plunged into a lake at Inarua Toll. 22 others have been injured in the incident that took place last night. The deceased have been identified as 70-year-old Baichan Devi, 60-year-old Sikhala Devisa, Dinesh Rajak and his wife, and Thakani Devi, all residents of Dakeswar 5. The superintendent of police Saptari has said the bus was carrying pilgrims returning from Sunsari Bara Chetra when it plunged into the lake. The injured are being treated at Dharan, Biratnagar and Rajviras hospitals. A man in Kapilvastu's Suddhodhan rural municipality has died after being shot by an unknown group of assailants last night. The deceased, identified as Dipendra Kumar Chaudhary, reportedly died as he was being taken to the Bhairava Medical College for treatment. Chaudhary was returning to his home from local Lavani Chauraha when he was shot. And we have more news coming up, but right now it's time for another short break. Welcome back. President, Prime Minister and group of secretaries have been monitoring the expansion of Kimathanka Khatbari Biratnagar road section along with the establishment of customs, immigration and border administration offices. However, the work in this regard has been considerably hampered. This time, a team of the provincial assembly members led by parliamentarian Rajendra Gautam has been carrying out the monitoring of the project. And in this context, we had asked the locals of Sankhwa Sabha what are the expectations from the monitoring team with regard to the project's accomplishment. Let's take a look at what they have to say.
Public voice.
बाटो चाहिँ हाम्रो जोगमुनि नाकादेखि किमाथाङकासम्म जोडियो भनेदेखि हाम्रो जति पनि चाइनाका व्यापारहरू छन् ती चाइनाका व्यापारहरू हाम्रो सङ्खुवासभा जिल्लामा आउँछन् र खातबारीले यसलाई चाहिँ एउटा चाहिँ राम्रो रूप लिन्छ। यो व्यापार व्यवसायमा धेरै राम्रो जक्सन हुन्छ।
सकारात्मक पक्ष जस्तो लागिरहेछ। उहाँहरू यो अवश्य पनि निर्माण गर्नुहुनेछ।
राज्यको ढिकुटी रित्याउने सक्ने काम मात्रै हो। धेरै नेताहरू आए, यो काम हुन सकेको छैन।
यो पिकनिक मात्रै नभएर चाहिँ अब यसको चाहिँ काम चाहिँ गएर देखाइदिए त्यो भएको बाँकी रहेको बाटो जोड दिएपछि हामीलाई चाहना चाहिँ त्यही हो।
राजदूत स्तरमा केही पहल भयो भने सहज होला। सांसद स्तरमा गर निम्तो बेगर गएको छ भने त अर्थ छैन।
यसको लागि चाहिँ अलिकति धेरै ठुलो पहल गर्नुपर्ने धेरै हामीले अपेक्षा त गर्यौं, तर त्यो डुल्न जाने खर्चहरूलाई मात्रै जोड्ने हो भने भन्सार कार्यालय बनिसक्थ्यो।
केही गर्न पो आँटेका हुन् कि जस्तो तरिकाले चाहिँ गएका छन्, तर अब हामी समग्र रूपमा चाहिँ विश्वास हुने आधार चाहिँ मैले देखेको छैन अहिलेको टिमले पनि।
And it's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where it texts us with their opinion.
Public Pulse.
And the question is, what should be done to minimize road accidents? And your options are A, strict traffic rules, B, improve road condition, and C, increase passenger awareness. The voting for the question is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And now time for sports update.
Sports news.
2 more matches are scheduled for the Martyrs Memorial A Division League football today. In the first match that kicks off at 11 a.m. today, Friends Club are up against Saraswati Youth Club, followed by a match between Himalayan Sherpa and Jawlakel Youth Club slated for 2:30 p.m. Both Friends and Saraswati have failed to open their accounts so far after 2 consecutive losses. Friends lost against 3-Star 2-1 in the first match and to APF by 1-0 in the second. Saraswati lost to Sankata and Himalayan Sherpa by 1-0 goal tally in both the matches. Himalayan Sherpa has been unbeaten so far in the league with 1 win and 1 draw. Jalakhel, however, has not opened its account, losing its first 2 matches to Nepal Police and Sankata. Both these matches will be held at the Armed Police Force ground at Halchak. Tribhuvan Army and Sankata registered victories at the Martyrs Memorial A-Division League football yesterday. The win has propelled Sankata to the 2nd position in the league, while Army is in the 3rd slot. Brigade Boys also won their match against Armed Police Force. In the match played at Enfa Complex, the Army club defeated their arch rivals Nepal Police Club 1-0. Tek Bahadur Buddha Toke's 30-minute strike proved decisive in the Army's victory. Army has 7 points from 3 matches, while it was the Police Club's first defeat of the league. In the other match, also played at Enfa Complex, Brigade Boys stunned APF 3-1. Brigade Boys stormed into the match after a 1-goal deficit to register their first win of the league. Following a goalless first half, APF took the lead in the 60th minute. However, Manoj Rai found the equalizer within 3 minutes. Kazuddin Adauni scored in the 69th minute for the Brigade Boys, while Kazim sealed a 3-1 win in the 75th minute. Meanwhile, in the only match played at Halchak ground, Sankata blanked Machindra 2-0 with 2 second-half goals. Nitin Thapa gave Sankata the lead in the 64th minute, while Amit Tamang doubled the lead in the 85th minute. Sankata has registered 3 wins out of 3 matches to collect 9 points. Tribhuvan Army and APF have advanced to the semi-finals of the Chief of Army Staff Invitational Women Football Championship being played in the capital. In the match played at Lagankhel's Police Training Academy, Army toyed with Sudur Paschim Province to win the match 8-0. Krishna Khatri scored 5 goals for the winning team. In the other match, APF blanked Province 3 10-0. Sabitra Bhandari scored 5 goals in the big win. In the matches slated for today, Nepal Police Club will take on Sikkim, while Province 2 will play against Bihar in the 2nd match. Bundesliga club Borussia Dortmund has signed striker Paco Alcacer from Barcelona for £22.7 million. Alcacer had been playing for the German side on loan since last August. Dortmund contracted Alcacer following a prolific start to the ongoing season. Alcacer had struggled to find his place at Barca since he joined the club in 2016 from Valencia. However, the striker was able to show his skills at Dortmund. The Spanish striker has scored 9 goals in 8 matches so far in the season. Alcacer will play for Dortmund till 2023. Dortmund, in good form this season, is at the top of the Bundesliga league with 27 points from 11 matches. Meanwhile, French midfielder N'Golo Kante has renewed his contract with Chelsea. Kante extended his stay at the English club by 5 years. And before we wrap up, here's a look at the top stories one more time. Parliamentary committee to probe into the procurement scandal of the 2 wide-body Airbuses, heated dispute between lawmakers and corporation leadership. The government all set to introduce contribution-based social security scheme, paving way for private sector employees to receive pension amount. U.S. government report warns climate change will cost the U.S. economy hundreds of billions of dollars, damaging everything from human health to infrastructure by the end of the century. And 2 matches slated for A-Division League football today. Tribhuvan Army, Sankata and Brigade Boys emerged winners from yesterday's matches. And those were our latest headlines. Stay with us for more news and entertainment on KTVSD. Good day.